Hello and welcome to the Authority of Love. I'm Greg Williams and we're back for another Family Foundation Friday, and this one following a wonderful Kentucky Family Forum that we had this past Saturday, David. So thank you again to the Family Forum for doing that. I was thoroughly impressed, in spite of the fact that I was on one of the panels. Other than that, I was thoroughly impressed. And the feedback that I received and that I heard many others, it was great. So I know we're going to catch up on that a little bit today.
Yeah.
But welcome again, and thank you for joining us.
Good to be with you, and I'm glad you were able to join us on Saturday.
Well, thank you again. We do want to cover a little bit of the family forum, as I alluded to, but we also are going to be talking about the response from the Herald-Leader, and we'll get into that a little bit more, and as well as the voter guide, the governor's voter guide, and where they can get other voter guides as well through you all and other partner organizations. So, David, give us your take on the forum, some of the feedback you got, and let's let our listeners hear more about that.
Well, first off, I just want to say, we were just really thankful to the Lord for just a great event. For all that we had 20 plus speakers on, across our different panels. Walt Heyer, who gave the keynote at the lunch, a number of state legislators and elected officials that got to participate and that we got to honor at the event, and just tremendous feedback that we've received at the event and since the event, that just a lot of really good information that equipped folks on what was going on, and some very important issues that you and I, Greg, talk about a lot on this program, and obviously are near and dear to our hearts. But more than that, my hope and prayer is that this will cause folks to get engaged in even deeper levels, that they would get equipped to make an impact, to be salt and light in their communities, to encourage their churches, to be disciplers on these issues as it relates to so many important issues. But, Greg, I have to say, and I'm not just saying this because you were here, I really thought the Salt and Light panel that you were on, that our good friend David Clausen from the Family Research Council and our friend Josh Hirschberger from Indiana kind of set the stage really well for the entirety of the day, and really laid out some of the data as it relates to worldview, where we're at, where the church is at, but then also just an encouragement, and really set the foundation for the rest of the event. So thank you for being a part of that.
Well, Dave, I would have to concur, and I would say yes. I was honored and humbled to be on that with David and with Josh, and they did a fabulous job. But I heard a lot of comments to that effect as the day went on. And it just continued to build. And I joked about it when I got up there that all three people that watch our podcast were there that day, but there were several that came up after and said, oh, no, we watched that too. So thank you to our listeners for doing that. We want to continue this, but we want to make sure that it's not only informative, but educational, and more than anything aligns with the biblical worldview that we're going to talk a little bit more about today. But it was good. I had no fewer than 5 different people say, we would like to engage you to come and speak and share, and I've already got a couple of those lined up since then, just since last Saturday.
That's
so
awesome.
I'm thankful for that, for the ministry and all that. But talk to us a little bit about some of the feedback and some of the things that you heard that came out of the forum.
Yeah, we had a really robust conversation about, from the panel dealing with the LGBT revolution as it relates to our kids and educational freedom, that we had a number of speakers on. I was thankful that Joseph Combe from Family Policy Alliance, our national ally, got to come share and kind of set the national stage about where we are. And it's great. You and I have talked about, there really has been, particularly this last 2 years, a lot of progress being made state by state to protect our kids from gender transitions, to protect female athletes in the Save Women's Sports movement. Parental rights.
Yep.
But, a good conversation, too, about what was still to be accomplished here in Kentucky. Strengthening parental rights, still the deep concern about pornography, about inappropriate, whether it be drag show performances targeting children or other adult entertainment, or obscene materials in books. Greg, I was reminded we're in the middle of this week that I think the National Library Association and others like to tout as Book Ban Week, where they're trying to use scare tactics to say that because an increasing amount of parents are engaging and sharing concerns about books that are in public libraries or books that are in libraries at school, that somehow, protecting kids from inappropriate materials is tantamount to a book ban. When we know that any of these books, you can go on Amazon. You can go on Amazon right now and order the book and probably have it to you the next day.
Yeah.
That's not a book ban. No. But anyways, that's another big topic that I still think is ripe to address. And then I was just really thankful to. I heard so much tremendous feedback from Walt Heyer. He got to kind of be the keynote during the lunch portion of the program. I've known Walt for a number of years. He came to the Kentucky Capitol during the session, as you and I talked about, but he really got to share his entire testimony.
It was great.
And to see how the Lord has used him as someone who has walked through
gender dysphoria,
dysphoria, living as a woman for a number of years before the Lord, pointed him back to his
and
true
his family
self.
Right that led him into that.
Yes.
It's so prevalent. Yes.
Yeah. So I think that was a tremendous encouragement. The night before or the day before he spoke at our event, he was speaking at another event for one of our Family Policy Council allies in Montana. I just continued to be thankful for his ministry and his witness,
especially at such a time as this.
Absolutely,
the Kairos moment,
as we have seen, those testimonies are particularly powerful of those who have lived that lifestyle, gone through different areas of gender transition, and to see them on the other side say, this is harmful, we cannot allow this to continue.
It's not what our media and social media and government and education systems are making it out to be.
Yeah.
I thought another one, and you can speak to this as well, one of the former employees here at the Family Foundation,
Sarah,
who is now running a pregnancy center in Madison County, or in Richmond. She had a wonderful panel, by the way. Wonderful panel with Adia Wishner and there was
Sue Leibel with Susan B. Anthony.
But she made a comment that closed that out about, we've got to remember that we've got to educate people on what these words are and what they mean.
Yeah.
Because we can't just let them be used the way anybody wants to, because that's deceptive.
Right.
That was powerful.
We have to use the term abortion. We have to equip people in the church about what the Bible has to say. But I forget what organization, but Greg, we're seeing at the national level this shift where the pro-abortion side doesn't even want to use the term abortion. Yeah. They want to use reproductive rights. They want to get as far away as they can from the reality of what we're talking about, which is taking the life of an unborn child. So that was a really powerful moment and testimony. And then we were very thankful too during the lunch to be able to honor a number of our Kentucky Family Champion legislators for their strong stances and voting records this past session.
20 or so were there.
20 so were able
to
come in person. We were just grateful to be able to honor them in front of a full room. That's we're called as believers to give honor where honor's due, to encourage folks, and then of course we also seek to hold those accountable when they're not doing the right thing.
Speaking of which, I know you may want to go on further, but the Herald-Leader found a way to come and enjoy the forum, then they wrote an article about it. I would say, in looking at it, I'm going to give it a B-, which I think is probably a little generous, but I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt. Tell me what you think and some of the things that they share with us, what they said about the Family Foundation and the forum, David.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, Greg, and I appreciate you bringing this up, and in my mind, it really just further clarifies the battle of worldviews that's going on. Yes. And when you're reading a mainstream leftist publication like the Herald-Leader,
and they are, clearly are,
or really any other major newspaper, you have to have a biblical lens on how you're reading things, because the contrast is just so clear. So they wrote a piece. The title of it was that the Kentucky Family Foundation wants to promote a biblical worldview, kind of in scare quotes.
Yes.
And so
that is a hit piece.
That is what we were intending to do. That's a part of a mission of our organization. It's not just a mission of our organization.
I think it says it right there.
It's the mission of the church to disciple people in a full biblical worldview.
That's right. Good point.
But it's just interesting that the way they frame this, they almost my expectation of the purpose of them writing it is that they're trying to scare readers that there's organizations like us and the speakers that we have that are just doing what we've always done,
like it's something new,
right? So the beginning of this article, it says, public schools are working to replace parental authority by indoctrinating and grooming Kentucky's children with the liberal agenda. That's true. Major medical associations are in cabal with the LGBTQ revolution and want to push transgenderism on youth. Check. They talked about
right.
Governor Andy Beshear was a tyrannical governor who wants to block people from attending church. He did that.
And by the way, as they pointed out, he let essential things like strip clubs and casinos stay open.
Yeah.
But not churches.
So this article, again, I appreciate you bringing it up, Greg. To me, it just is another reminder for us that when those outside of the body of Christ are reporting or writing on what we're doing, increasingly there's kind of this disdain or hostility that just seeps and oozes through. But my encouragement to us and to all of us is just to continue to boldly, we don't have anything to be ashamed for.
No. We know what they're going to say.
Right. So we just continue to encourage and promote and stand strong for our mission here at the Family Foundation. And I hope that the readers of this article are able to see the importance of the work that we're doing, and the number of legislators that were there. We're thankful that they were there, and there's a number of them that are standing strong on these issues.
And community leaders.
Absolutely.
Several community leaders, either on the panel or just in attendance, that were there and very encouraged by that. And I appreciate them. They can scare quote, do whatever they want, but they made the points that we were making, and those things are actually true.
Yeah.
You fact check them, and they would actually be true. So it was very good. And we may say some more about that moving forward. We're running short on time, but I do want you to remind people of the voter guide and how they can get that. Yes.
Yeah, we are now less than a month away from Election Day on November 7th. So just folks can go to our website at kentuckyfamily.org/vote. to go to our election resources page and see our governor's race voter guide and our other voter guides for the other races. Tremendous response, folks requesting copies. It's available to download for free in print. It's church friendly. You can also reach out to us, and we've got printed copies. We'd be happy to send them to you. We just continue to want to equip particularly Christians in the body of Christ to get out and vote in a way that honors the Lord on November 7th.
Yeah, and that's good, David. And I would say, when you look at that voter guide, I've said this before and I got to say it again, please go back and check it, because what they did was take both of the candidates' records.
Right.
This is what they've clearly stood for and done. Compare that with their ads.
Yeah.
Where they're standing with that. And then go on what they've done, not what they say.
Right.
And so if you want abortion and gender dysphoria to be pushed on children and those kind of things, vote for Governor Beshear. If you'd rather not and you uphold life and not harming children, then vote for Daniel Cameron, because that's what is going on. So I just want to be clear on that. Finally, we would be remiss if we didn't mention this. We must be praying for Israel.
Oh my goodness.
The people of Israel. That's people say end times, and that's been said for 2,000 years, but still, we need to pay attention to that and be praying for those people.
It's amazing how the world can shift in an instant. So
exactly
we need to be praying for Israel.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. Thanks always to the Lord. Have a great day, and God bless. Stay tuned for Bill Reeser and Encounter at 12:45. Greg Horn and Hope is here. I'm Greg Williams, and you're listening to The Authority of Love.